Yeah, rhodopsin is present in which part of the pigment? That is rods, yeah. Is it not in the rods?
Rods.
Yeah. Right. Rods la irukkiradhu rhodopsin. Then rhodopsin oda main function vandu light when it comes on falls on the retina, that is rhodopsin is also called as the visual purple. Another name for rhodopsin is visual purple. It will this rhodopsin will convert into a pigment which is called as the retinal or the retin. Okay, it is given two names, retinine or retinal. So rhodopsin will get converted into this pigment, and this is an aldehyde derivative of vitamin A. We already talked about it, and it contains a protein coat which is called as the scotopsin or opsin. Rendu irukku illaya adula? Scotopsin or opsin. So this splitting of the light from rhodopsin into these, we call it as bleaching. That's the name given to it, which is called as the bleaching. Okay. So either one the energy, it will give out energy and then it will create a nerve impulse which is carried to the brain. Okay, idu enge nadakkum when it is in bright light. And what happens when it is in dim light or dark light? Enna nadakkum? In the retinine, whatever we got just now, retinine plus this scotopsin, in the energy ellame சேர்ந்து it gets converted back into rhodopsin. This happens in the case of dark light or dim light. Reverse process. Okay, so reverse process will occur. Now resynthesis of rhodopsin, generally when the rhodopsin மாறதுக்கு resynthesize பண்றதுக்கு it will take little time. So சடனா நம்ம வந்து ஒரு பிரைட் ஏரியால இருந்து ஒரு டார்க் ஏரியாக்குள்ள போன உடனே we will see everything blank for few minutes because it has to adjust. இந்த rhodopsin வந்து கிரியேஷனுக்கு கொஞ்சம் டைம் எடுக்கும். அதனால when we come from bright to dim light, we take little time to adjust to that particular light. Okay, and திடீர்னு நம்ம டார்க்லயே பார்க்க ஆரம்பிச்சிடுவோம். That is because the rhodopsin will be synthesized back. Okay, so this we call it as bleaching. Splitting is bleaching and regenerating rhodopsin will be regeneration. Okay, so in the rendo vandu you just remember these two. So this is all about your ear. You want to add up anything which you know to the ear, eye, edavadhu ungalku add pannanumna you can tell me now. You can ask me now itself. I'm going to the next one, otherwise ear ku poiduven nan. Shall I take up the ear? Hello, shall I take up the ear? Tikingla?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, done. Okay, ear mothama 3 parts. We'll just finish it quickly. What are the 3 parts of the ear? Okay, you want to know what is erythropsin? Here, okay, before, yeah, give me the 3, this one. 3 splits of the ear. Ear on the divided into 3 parts.
Outer ear, middle ear,
Now,
inner
eardrum,
ear.
external auditory matters.
Okay, external ear is also called as
Internal ear.
pinna. Okay, external ear or the pinna, the middle ear and the inner ear. Okay, so external ear called the pinna, which is just there to receive the sound. Okay, and it is external, and I told you this is an exclusive feature of mammals. Only mammals have pinna. Break. Okay, నేను వచ్చి చేస్తాను. One second, man. Just to tell you what is erythropsin. One second. Erythropsin is same as rhodopsin, by the way. Okay, both are same. Okay, erythropsin and rhodopsin are same. Okay, you asked me. So both of them are similar and same. Okay. So here it is divided basically into two parts. So we said 3 parts of the ear, but basically it is divided into pinna and the external auditory canal. Okay. Pinna on the oval, it is a flap-like structure, and you know it is made up of elastic cartilage and muscles. So it is supposed to be the soft part. It's not the hard bone. Then the external auditory canal is an egg-shaped tube which will lead inside from the pinna. So the entire thing we call it as the auditory canal. And remember, for men especially, when you look at the outer region of the pinna will carry hair-like structures. Okay. So when you see for men, you have little extra hair growth, that is hair-like structures onto the inner to the pinna. Okay. And inside when you take it, you have wax in your ear. What is wax in the ear? Glands. Okay. So you have the wax producing glands, which is the cerumen or the ceruminous glands. And this will actually provide to lubricate your ear from external things and also help in protection of the lining of the auditory meatus, the inner ones. Okay. It is actually a protection of the inner meatus. Okay. Auditory meatus. So injury it will protect you. That's why they'll ask you to not to remove the entire wax from the ear. You need little bit of wax in the ear for cushion. You know that. Then when I say coming to the middle ear is an air-filled cavity in the temporal bone. You know what is middle ear? Middle ear is also called as what? What is another name for middle ear? Okay, what is included in the middle ear?
Stapes and incus.
Malleus, incus, and stapes.
Stapes, malleus, incus.
Okay, middle ear when the reach agarthukku, there is a pathway. What is the pathway called as? It is an auditory pathway which is also given the name as eustachian tube. Okay. Eustachian tube will lead you to the middle ear from the external ear, a pathway. Okay, in the place it includes tympanic membrane or eardrum and also ear ossicles. One, two, three, four. And anywhere by middle ear ossicles. What are the 3 ear ossicles you just told me? Malleus,
Incus and stapes.
incus and stapes. So stapes inner pair. What is another name for it?
Strip bone, ma'am. Strip bone.
What is it called?
Strip bone.
Okay, so one more name for it is stirrup. Stirrup. Okay, so stapes is the smallest bone in the body. So the smallest bone in the body. Okay, and combined we call them as ear ossicles. Okay, and malleus is attached to the tympanic membrane on one side, and to the other side it is attached to the incus. Okay, in the incus it is connected with the stapes. They're all connected together, and which is attached to the oval membrane. Oval membrane it will lead into an oval chamber or an oval window which directly leads into the internal ear or the inner ear. So it is like a window. So entering room to room, okay. So you have an attachment, then it will enter the middle ear, and then from the middle ear through an oval window into the internal ear. Okay. So in the ossicles order, major function another. What is the function of ear ossicles? What is the major function of the ear ossicles?
Transmit the sound waves to the inner ear.
Okay, they actually carry the sound waves from the inner ear, that is across the tympanic cavity, and they hit on the tympanic membrane, by way the moon ear ossicles will vibrate. Okay, and in that will be taken into the internal ear. Now, ossicles they act as a lever system. Okay, that means they will increase the vibration which is hit on those three bones. So increase the vibration, amplitude increase ஆகி it will be carried to the inner ear. Okay, இப்ப inner ear தான் பேசிக்கா we have the most important parts as we know. So inner ear consists of an irregular organ which is called as the membrane labyrinth. So inner ear, most delicate part of the ear, so membrane labyrinth. Okay, and it is surrounded by a small shaped bony labyrinth. So you have both the things. One is membranous in nature, the other one is bony in nature. And the membranous labyrinth is joined to the bony by means of, they are attached together through some common points. Okay. And that common point, there is a small space, we call it as perilymphatic space. Okay. So the space between the membrane labyrinth and the bony labyrinth is given the perilymphatic space. Sorry, perilymphatic space. Okay, and this consists of a watery fluid. You can always feel wax you have that watery fluid kind of thing before it solidifies. That watery kind of fluid, we call it as perilymph. Okay, and the membranous labyrinth is again filled with some one kind of liquid which is called as the endolymph. So membranous labyrinth the endolymph, and the space between is called as the perilymph. Two types of fluids we find in the ear. Okay. Now, labyrinth or the coiled portion, what is it called as? What is the coiled structure in the labyrinth?
Cochlea.
What's the name? Cochlea. Okay. Cochlea is supposed to be the main hearing organ or the major one which actually creates sound. Okay. Internal it consists of lot of fluid filled chambers which are called as canals. In the middle chamber, we call it as, in the canal or middle chamber we call it as scala media. Okay. And middle chamber called the scala media is supposed to be the most important part of the canal which encloses the cochlea. So cochlea cross section we have all these three kinds of things. Okay, or upper membrane above the scala media you have an upper membrane which is called as the Risner's membrane. Okay, and below the scala media you have another membrane which is called as the basilar membrane. So in the portions because you have all these Risner's membrane and basilar membrane and all these things, the entire vestibule, that is the cochlear vestibule, is divided into two. One is scala vestibuli and the other one is organ of corti. Okay, this one the renda period. So because of these membranes, it's divided into two compartments. One is the scala vestibuli. The another lower one we call it as organ of corti, also called as the scala tympani. Renda partitions we have here. Okay, in the organ of corti, it will have hair-like structures and they are supposed to be photoreceptors. Okay, and they have contacts with the dendrites of neurons. So they have direct contact with the dendrites of the neurons, and the tips of the hair are all embedded. And the hair or the tips they are all enclosed in an elastic membrane which is called as the tectorial membrane. Correct, tectorial membrane. Your small ear is made up of so many parts. Okay, if we pathona organs evlo parts they are made up of. So tectorial membrane it is the place where the hair is actually embedded in. Okay, in an elastic membrane. So anything else you want to add? So எனக்கு வந்து இந்த tectorial membrane ஓட functions, you know all the functions of these things, resinous membrane, tectorial membrane, what are the functions, basic functions என்ன இருக்கும்? Solid fluoration. It's okay. What are the functions of all these membranes? என்ன function இருக்கும் membranes ஓடது எல்லாமே வந்து when you look at the physiology, what are the different functions? Why do you need to have so many membranes in the ear?
Protection.
Protection, stability, you know there is by the way, why is it, what is semicircular canals? There is no semicircular canals given here. Where is semicircular canals located? Do you know what is semicircular canals?
Inner ear, ma'am.
Inner ear, but the function in the semicircular canals odadu. What is the function of semicircular canals? Okay, cochlea attached to three semicircular canals are given. The three semicircular canals are called as, they are utricle, saccule and ampullae. Ampullae are the swollen parts of these two canals. Okay, the swollen portion is ampullae. So moon irukku idu mottama vandu, I told you it encloses the endolymph when we talked about it. Endolymph nu sonnom illaya. So adu cochlea oda connection, end of the cochlea itself, you have these three semicircular canals. The entire system along with the cochlea and the three semicircular canals, we call them as a vestibular, we call the vestibular apparatus. The entire thing is called as the vestibular apparatus. Okay, in the ducts vandu, they are mainly used for balance. You know that ear basic vandu, it is for balancing. If you have any problem in the ear, you feel dizzy, so ears are also for balance. And the balance vandu, it is given by the semicircular canals. Okay, they are supposed to be for balance. So divided into three: utricle, fluids which help you, fluids could irukku, but basically semicircular canals are for balancing. Okay, and they are made into three: utricle, saccule and cristae with ampullae. Moon different structures, semicircular canals. Okay, and anything else to be added here? One second. Okay, all these carry the endolymph. Now, how do we actually hear any sound? We actually capture. So, every number one, the mechanism of hearing. How do we actually do that? It is the same way how the eyes have done the sense of vision. The similar way, the outer ear will catch hold of the waves. It will direct them into the tympanic membrane or the eardrum. Or eardrum, another name, tympanic membrane. The membrane will vibrate. Okay, the malleus incus, we saw the ear ossicles, they will, okay, they will amplify the sound, and the sound is carried over to the oval window. Okay, once it is carried to the oval, one second ma, it is calling. And once it is carried to the oval window, what will happen from there? The vibrations will pass into the fluids of cochlea, lymph, perilymph, ellame irukku illaya. So it will be carried to the cochlea, and the basilar membrane will vibrate. There will be a wave which created in the basilar membrane, and in the basilar membrane lane, the waves vandu, they will press against the tectorial membrane. We saw the tectorial membrane where the hair is standing, right? The hair part. And From this, because the end of the hair, the tectorial membrane is directly involved with the nerve endings, the dendrites. So the impulses are carried via the auditory cortex to the auditory cortex of the brain. So what is that nerve which carries the auditory to the auditory cortex? What is the nerve here called as? Just like you have optic nerves, here it is called as auditory nerve. Okay. So the nerve carries the impulses from the tectorial membrane towards the cortex of the brain. So this is how it is carried. It is exactly what we did on a flow chart. So outer ear receives tympanic membrane, then ear ossicles, then there is a potential difference created, and basilar membrane is vibrated, and from there the tectorial membrane, and then finally from the tectorial membrane via the auditory brain. Okay, so this is how the entire mechanism occurs. So you have anything to add up? Otherwise, I'm going to the endocrine glands. You have any doubts with these two? You have anything to add up? You want to ask me any questions? You can ask me here. What do you mean by endocrine system?
Glands lack that.
Okay, எனக்கு வந்து பேசிக்கா வந்து endocrine glands ன்னு என்னது? What is the difference between the exocrine and the endocrine glands? What is the basic difference?
Exocrine
Duct
have
and ductless
ducts.
glands.
Endocrine does not have duct.
Right. So they do not have ducts. Endocrine glands, they are all called as ductless glands. So these ductless glands will produce certain kind of chemical messengers or chemical substances. Yeah. So
Hormones.
these chemical messengers, we call them as
Hormones.
okay. And hormones are always in a very less quantity, micrograms, milligrams. Romba kammiya their secretions are very less, and they are directly poured into the blood. Okay, blood kulliye it is taken through the bloodstream. And remember, the organ from where the hormones are given off is separate, but their effect is seen on some other part of the body. Okay, so it is like the area where it starts is different, the area where it responds is different when it comes to hormones. Okay, so ductless glands, hormones, and we call them, because they're also linked with the neural system, we call them as neuroendocrine system. Okay, both are same. So coming to the hormones pair yaar kodtanga? Who gave the name? Because this is important. Who gave the name? Baylis and Starling. They gave the name hormones. Okay, and the first hormone to be isolated was insulin by Banting and MacLeod. Banting and MacLeod gave the first separation of hormone, which is called as insulin. Okay, so coming to the classification of hormones, they are classified according to the kind of substance they release. Baylis and Ernest Starling. Okay, so they are divided into 4 categories. They are amino acid derivatives, one type. Amino acid derivatives are hormones which are epinephrine, which is called as adrenaline, and norepinephrine, which is called as a non-adrenaline, and thyroxine. In the mono it is amino acid derivatives. So amino acid will be the base for them. If epinephrine, norepinephrine, and thyroxine. Okay, then you have the peptide hormone. Peptide and sonavone, it belongs to peptide chains. They are oxytocin and vasopressin. Vasopressin, they're all that on the adrenal glands. Okay, vasopressin and oxytocin, which are mostly made up of peptide chains. Then you have protein-based. Protein derivatives or polypeptide chains are seen in the case of somatotrophic hormone, gonadotrophic hormone, and thyrotropic hormone. So these three hormones will contain proteins or polypeptide hormones. Okay. So either in the hormones included are insulin, glucagon, parathormone, chorionic gonadotrophin, human chorionic somatotrophin. All the hormones will take up one by one later. And relaxin, which are all made up of proteins. So most of them are probably the protein based ones. Idellame vandu protein based. Now we have something called steroid. Steroid are nothing but polymers of fats. Steroid hormones vandu, they release in the adrenal cortex, testes and ovaries, and placental estradiol and progesterone. All these are, that is the basic sex hormones we all look at as the steroid kind of hormones. Okay, so nalu vidama amino acid, peptide, protein or polypeptide, and steroid. So 4 categories you are dividing the hormones. Okay, why do you need hormones even though they are given out in very less quantities? What is the major function of hormones? Major function of hormones என்னது?
Organic category.
What is the basic function?
Messenger.
Yeah, the messengers, but because I'm asking you because they are very less quantities, right? But still the entire body it is all governed by them. So
They are the stimulators.
Their effect on target tissue.
yeah, so they actually look after or they help in creating a correct environment of the body, which is called as homeostasis. Homeostasis, they will look at maintaining your body in the correct condition. By using these hormones, your body is kept in the proper condition. And innonu vandu, the secretion of hormones are under the control of certain factors which are called as the feedback control mechanism. What is feedback control? So we have two different types of feedback, positive and negative. So for any hormone, it is both ways. We look at a positive feedback, we look at a negative feedback. So what do you mean by feedback control? Feedback and another. Feedback mechanism ஒரு loop system நம்ம பாடியில. Okay, so இது என்ன பண்ணும்னா, it will maintain the balance of your body organs. எல்லாமே correct balanceல இருக்கணும்னு பார்க்கிறது feedback control. இது it forms a complete chain system. Okay, so you remember when you have some problem with your hormones, it is not only one which gets affected, the entire body stability is changed. You should know ஒரு ஹார்மோன் ஒரே ஒரு ஆர்கன் மட்டும் தான் எஃபெக்ட் கிடையாது. Your entire body system changes. So because the entire hormones are in a circuit form and they are all taken care into a single loop, we call that mechanism as feedback control or feedback mechanism. Okay, எல்லாமே சேர்ந்து தான் வேலை செய்யும். It is not one thing which works there. Okay, so hormones they are that kind of mechanism. And what are the different pathways they take for them to react on? So what are the different pathways the hormones take? If steroid hormones or amino based hormones எடுத்தோம்னா, they will generally start stimulating the target cells. So they will start by targeting the cells where they start that hormonal action. அது it is for the steroid, the amino acid. What is the target cell? What is the target cell? A target cell is the one which responds to a hormone. Hormone work agano on the cell. So it will act on that particular one. The cell, we call it as target cell. இப்ப இந்த டார்கெட் செல்ஸ்ல வந்து it will have receptors to take it. Okay, the target cells contain certain receptors which are nothing but the hormone receptors. Okay, so they are exposed in the target cells, and then enna nadakum, depending upon what type of hormones they are taking in, the reaction will be shown in that particular target cells. Okay, and then the target cell will give you a response to that stimulus. Okay, this is how everything goes on with particular kind of hormones. Or hormone in the mari target cells vandu it will take up, and then it will show the effect on the target cell. Cell responses to all these things can have many functions. Okay, functions vandu nariya functions irukku hormones. Enna functions irukku? They can change the permeability, they can change the enzyme situations, they can inhibit, they can activate, they can have mitosis, gene differences, enavena nadakalam. So all these will be the responses given to a hormone stimulation. In the vidavano it can change. It is not one response we are talking about. Okay, as you read about the hormones, you will understand how each hormone will act upon each other. Okay, so ipo nama mode of or hormone action eduthonna, we just look at the flow chart, how actually the hormones react. Okay, steroid hormones and thyroid hormones are, what are they? What is the nature of those hormones? Thyroid hormones and all of them are lipophilic in nature. So whenever I say lipophilic lipids, they easily pass across the plasma membrane. They can just diffuse on the target cell. Okay, they act through the intracellular receptors, intracellular within the cell itself, which are located in the cytoplasm of the nucleus. So cytosol of the nucleus, they act directly. Okay, these are lipophilic condition. Ipa enna nadakum? The hormone will create just like enzymes, how they form a complex. Here also a hormone receptor complex is formed. A hormone receptor complex is formed when they attach themselves to specific regions on the DNA, on the genetic material. And when they combine with the specific genetic material, they are called as HRE. What is the full form of HRE? Full form of HRE? Human responsive element. When the hormone acts on the target sites and binds with the specific DNA, everything is specific. When it combines with a specific DNA, it creates a hormone responsive element, HRE. And then the genetic expression of that particular gene is changed. In the change vandu, it will occur only in particular genes. Ella genes liyum in the expression nadakadu. The expression is only for very specific or specified kind of genes. Okay, when they are expressed, we call them as hormone responsive element. Okay, hormone responsive elements. Now ipa in the receptor complex, once it combines with the HRE, it will start initiating, and just like you know how that RNA messenger, the genetic material is transferred from one to another through the RNA messenger and all that. So same way the hormone complex also reacts in the same way. Okay, HRA when the initiate in it will produce initiation and then elongation and will terminate by RNA synthesis, which is nothing but the transcription. When we do that, we will do all these things. So RNA synthesis at the end, the termination will occur, which is nothing but the transcription. So now the gene is coded for a specific kind of reaction, and the gene vandu it is specific. Now we are talking about intracellular reaction. Idella vandu within the cell it is happening. Now when the hormones act through extracellular condition, what is extracellular? Okay, some of them will bind to the plasma membrane, not inside the genetic or the nuclear membrane. They stimulate some messengers which are called as the second messengers. See, they're all binding onto the plasma membrane, not inside the nucleus. And they will start performing the reactions or the functions. Hormones will be the first messengers, and the cell surface on which they bind, the receptors, will be the second messengers. Rendu vidhamana messengers we have seen. So second messengers very specific. Second messengers, they have to help them, the hormones, to be released inside. So they carry along with them, just like how enzymes carry. Okay. So the second messengers can be, what are the different second messengers you have read? CAMP for ACTH, FSH, LH, PTH. What is ACTH? The messenger for all these second messengers
adrenocorticotropic hormone.
Adrenocorticotropic hormone,
Stimulating hormone.
stimulating hormone,
Luteinizing hormone.
luteinizing hormone, and what is PTH?
Thyroid hormone.
Parathyroid
Parathyroid
hormone. Then glucagon, calcitonin, it needs a second messenger, which is CAMP. Okay. So sometimes there is another messengers which are used for the calcium kind of calcium. You need one more. You have different kinds of messengers like this. CAMP, Maria, you have one called TR. Okay. Then second messenger, if it is in the form of, I'll give you the name, phosphatidylinositol. Pronunciation medhuva pannunga. It's a big word. It is phosphated dilynositol. So idu complete one. It is also called as the calcium. Idukku hormones which are stimulated are TRH, GnRH, gastrin, and CCK. Idila what is CCK?
Cholecystokinin.
Correct. Cholecystokinin. Okay. So in the secondary messenger in the hormones release pandradhukku use agum. That means it is similar that they need an enzyme to be attached to these, then they are carried into the target organs. First la நம்ம intracellular பார்த்தோம்னா இந்த மாதிரி நம்மளுக்கு secondary messengers கிடையாது, direct reaction தான் பார்த்திருக்கோம். இங்க you need some help to do that. அந்த help தான் secondary messengers. So this is all about your extracellular pathway. Okay, the one we studied before is intracellular pathway. அங்க genetic coding நடக்கும், இங்க enzyme reaction மாதிரி நடக்கும். Two different specifications. Okay. Now coming to the human endocrine system. உங்களுக்கு என்னென்ன hormones in a broader view. I don't want the detailed view. Human endocrine system, what are the major hormones we look at? I just need a broader view first. What is the most, start with the first gland, which is pituitary.
Pituitary gland. Parathyroid.
Give me all the glands. Thyroid. I just need the glands.
Parathyroid, pineal gland.
Thyroid.
Thymus. Thyroid.
Okay, parathyroid, thyroid,
Adrenal.
adrenal gland,
Adrenal.
pineal body. Okay, pineal body, thymus gland. Then you have the ovary and the testis, and then you have the pancreas. Pancreas is also one more thing. Okay, so you have all these hormones, and we'll just look. Brief, we'll take it off. Okay. Now coming to the first one, before I get into the human endocrine system, human endocrine system la already we talked about the hypothalamus, thymosin in thymus gland, correct? So we have looked up at the hypothalamus. We already talked about it. Yeah. Hypothalamus is supposed to be the commander of all your endocrine system. I told you that's most important part of the brain where the hormones are being activated. That is the hypothalamus. And it is at the basis part of the Anant. Yeah, you're giving me all the hormones, correct? Okay. So it consists of supreme, all the reactions take place in this particular hypothalamus. Okay. Hormones, they're all synthesized and secreted by, and they are under control of the pituitary gland. So, நம்ம என்னென்ன ஹார்மோன்ஸ் பார்த்தோமோ அதெல்லாம் கண்ட்ரோல் பண்றது pituitary gland. So, pituitary gland is called your master gland because it, okay, correct, master gland, because it actually controls all the effect of hormones in the body. Okay. So, we will look at different kinds of hormones which are present here in the hypothalamus. Okay. We have TRH, Cella turcica, correct? Answers on. So the hormones are called as, one is TRH or TSHRH. This is thyrotropin releasing hormone, which is for the thyroxine. Yes, just the releasing hormones matunda we are looking at with the hypothalamus. Okay. Then you have ARH or ACTHRH. ARH is what? Adrenocorticotropin releasing hormone. Okay. All releasing hormones we are talking about. Gonadotropin releasing hormone, GRH. Somatotropin releasing hormone, SRH. Growth hormone releasing hormone, GHRH.
Corticotropin releasing hormone.
Right. Prolactin releasing hormone or luteotropic or lactinogenic hormones ellame irukkinga. So you have PRH, LTH, RH. So all RH will be your releasing hormones. Then somatostatin or growth inhibiting hormone, which is called as the GIH. So there is a inhibitor hormone also. Then prolactin inhibiting hormone, which is PIH, and melanocyte stimulating hormone, MSH, or melanocyte inhibiting hormone, which is MIH. So ellame we are looking at the hypothalamus. Ellame stimulating hormones da. Okay. Now, in the hormones they reach the pituitary gland through a portal system. And remember, I already told you the pituitary gland is attached by means of a small stalk-like structure to the hypothalamus. Okay. And idellame all these releasing hormones reach the pituitary gland and they are under the direct control of the hypothalamus. Okay. This is about your releasing hormones. Now we'll go to the first gland, which is pituitary gland. Okay, brief. Where is pituitary gland located? What is it called? Okay, you already told me it is master gland. What is the size of the pituitary gland? It is about 1 to 3 grams.
1.5 centimeter.
0.5 gram in weight.
Okay, and master gland, then it is supposed to be, today it is called as orchestra of endocrine system because it plays, the tunes are played by the pituitary gland on the hormones. It's given a new name, orchestra of endocrine system, orchestra. Okay. So pituitary gland rendu parts irukkum or main two lobes. What are the two lobes in the pituitary gland? anterior lobe or called as adenohypophysis, and the other one it's also called as pars distalis.
Neurohypo.
Distalis.
Okay, மூணு பேரு for the anterior lobe, and the posterior lobe is called as
Neurohypophysis.
neurohypophysis. Okay, or pars nervosa. Okay, and in between there is an intermediate lobe which is called as pars intermedia.
Yeah.
Okay, so these will be your three lobes. Idila vandu the anterior lobe releases most of the hormones. Romba important ana hormones ellame vandu it comes from your first lobe, that is the anterior lobe. Okay, we will just look at what are the hormones which are being released here in this anterior lobe first. Okay, anterior lobe. We just have, I'm not getting into detail because you already know. Now, I'll write the names. You can just tell me what are there. Okay. Ipa anterior lobe vandu ஒரே நிமிஷம். Pars distalis, that is the pars distalis one, which is the supposed to be adenohypophysis. That's what we are talking about right now. So it is commonly called as the anterior pituitary. That's right. Somebody gave me the answer already. It is called anterior pituitary and releases lots of hormones here. We'll just look at the hormones. First one, GH. What is GH?
Growth hormone.
Growth
Growth
hormone.
hormone. PRL. What is PRL?
Prolactin releasing hormone.
Prolactin releasing
Releasing
hormone.
hormone.
TSH.
Thyroid stimulating
Stimulating hormone.
Very good. ACTH.
Adrenocorticotropic hormone.
Correct. What is LH?
Luteinizing hormone.
hormone.
And FSH.
follicle
Follicle
stimulating
stimulating hormone.
Follicle
Okay, so
stimulating
follicle
hormone.
stimulating hormone.
Stimulating hormone.
Okay, so we will first finish this, then we'll go to the next one. Okay, growth stimulating hormone means it is for the entire growth of your body. Okay, it is about your growth. Prolactin stimulating hormone, activation of the mammary glands after the parturition, okay, of childbirth. Okay, then TSH is thyroxine releasing hormone, that stimulation of thyroxine. Then ACTH is secretion of adrenal cortex hormones. Okay, glucocorticoids and mineralocorticoids from the adrenal cortex. So that one. And LH deals with LH and FSH are both included in the development of ovaries. Okay, rendo vandu ovary one development. So this will be the first lobe. Now coming to the intermediate lobe, what are the different things in the intermediate lobe? Intermediate lobe la irukkiradhu enna irukku?
Vasopressin.
We have the MSH. What is MSH?
Melanocyte stimulating hormone.
Melanocyte stimulating hormone. Melanocyte is related to the pigmentation of your skin cells.
Melanin.
Okay. Yeah, and pars intermedia is generally merged with pars distalis. It is not actually a separate lobe. It is just a junction between the anterior and the posterior lobes. So intermedia vandu you have this MSH. Then oxytocin and vasopressin.
Hormones of posterior pituitary. Hormones of posterior pituitary.
Posterior pituitary gland or also neurohypophysis. Oxytocin is a birth hormone which helps in releasing the milk. And uterine contractions. Contractions of the uterus during childbirth is the parturition, we saw it. So that is by means of oxytocin. And vasopressin vandu
mainly act as kidney.
Yeah, kidney la water retention, we already did this. That is the antidiuretic hormone. Antidiuretic hormone. How much of water has to be has been reabsorbed in the form for the urine to produce, and production of urine, reduction of loss of water in the urine, we call it as diuresis.
Diuresis.
Okay, so these are your basic hormones we are looking at. So idellame vandu most of them you can see are all stimulating hormones. That means pituitary ku vandu major hormone vandu growth hormones. Okay, so pituitary works only with the growth hormones. Rest are all stimulating hormones we are looking at. That means they control the other hormones. Adudha adhigama we'll see in the pituitary gland. So now coming to the growth hormone, what are the disorders of pituitary gland? What happens if it is over secretion? What is the condition called as?
Gigantism.
Gigantism. Gigantism nala what happens? Your entire bones elongate. You look, your facial bones, your hand bones, ellame vandu elongate aidum. So that is gigantism. So under secretion,
Dwarfism.
okay, by the way, what is the technical term for over secretion and under secretion? Over secretion ku enna per solluvom?
Hypersecretion.
Hypersecretions. When I say lower, it is hyposecretion.
Hyposecretion.
So in hormones, you will come across this hyper and hypo. Ellame abdida reaction. Then what is acromegaly?
Elongation of
Excessive secretion of
Due to the
growth in
excessive secretion of
adults.
growth hormone.
In adults.
Okay, எப்படி இருக்கும் actually பார்க்கிறதுக்கு? Acromegalous nature ல எப்படி இருக்கும் பார்க்கிறதுக்கு?
blotted
Overgrowth of hand bones, cheek bones,
protruded tongue.
jaw bones.
So ellame in the elongated position, right? Ellame vandu they look longer, deformity, abnormally large. Everything is abnormally large. Okay, அவங்களுக்கு வந்து நிறைய dysfunctions இருக்கும். That means they are all like very normal like others. Then what they, and one more which causes is diabetes insipidus. Right, diabetes insipidus.
Deficiency of ADH.
Hyposecretion of vasopressin.
Right, this is a hyposecretion and it will not be able to produce ADH or anti-diuretic hormone. The answer is already given for me there. And posterior pituitary la vandu it will not release the ADH or the anti-diuretic hormone. Adanala enna nadakkum? Nariya dilute urine will be passing over. Okay, and large volume of urine is lost from the body in the form of water. So anti-diuretic hormone produce agad. So other than this, you know any other features of pituitary gland? I have some more. Any other thing you have come across? What is myxedema?
Hyposecretion of thyroid in adults.
I have some more disorders in pituitary. Hypopituitarism, low test dihydrosterone. I had two more things. Myxedema, 1 second. Right, so these will be taken up in the thyroid thing. Okay, so this is all about your pituitary gland right now. Then coming to the smaller gland, which is called the pineal body. Pineal body, we already saw. Where is it located?
Dorsal side of the brain.
Third
Right,
ventricle of
between the
brain.
between the cerebral hemispheres and from the roof of the third ventricle. We already saw these cavities then when we did the brain. Okay, pineal body, most important thing we already discussed about this is a secretion of a hormone called melatonin. Melatonin or a function vandu
regulates sleep
yeah,
wake up cycle.
so many names for it. Diurnal rhythm, 24-hour cycle,
Circadian rhythm.
Maintains normal.
circadian cycles, circadian
Circles.
rhythms.
Sleepwalk cycle.
Yeah. So and it is sleep wake cycle. Adu kuda one of the names we given. And then it maintains your body temperature. Okay. In addition to this, it also influences
Metabolism, pigmentation,
pigmentation and menstrual cycle. All these are also regulated by melatonin. So
defense
நம்ம பாடியில
mechanism.
என்னென்ன சேஞ்சஸ் நடக்கிறது எல்லாமே வந்து it is because of melatonin. So pigmentation part, the release of melanin. Okay. So melatonin, pineal body. Okay. Then இது ரெண்டும் வந்து it is in the brain. So we finish these two because both are situated at the brain, in the brain. Now coming to the next most important one, thyroid gland. Okay. Thyroid enga located? Location of thyroid gland.
Below the lozenge.
Between larynx on each side of the upper trachea.
Okay. It is a bilobe gland and it is also a butterfly shaped gland. You know this. Okay, it is a bilobe gland and it is connected by a narrow isthmus. Butterfly shaped gland at the larynx, neck, you know.
Largest endocrine gland.
Right. Isthmus vandu glandular kadiyadu, just a junction, okay, for them. Now, when you look at a thyroid gland, it will show a lot of thyroid follicles, which are nothing but made up of cubical epithelium. When you look at under a microscope, cubical epithelial cells and filled with a special material which is called as a colloid material. It's a colloid. Okay. And it also has little bit of connective tissue which is called as the stroma.
Soma's tissue.
Stroma of the gland. And besides this, it contains clusters of specialized cells which are called as parafollicular cells or C cells. So the special cells in the thyroid gland are called as the parafollicular cells or the C cells. What happened? C cells. In the thyroid gland secretes 3 hormones. What are the 3 hormones?
Thyroxine.
Thyroxine la rendu vidham. Thyroxine la rendu vidham. We have the T3, T4.
Triiodothyroid.
Thyrocalcitonin.
Calcitonin.
Triiodothyronin.
Triiodothyroxine, tetraiodothyroxine. Okay, T3, T4. These rendu test da we do it for thyroid test. Okay, both have to be tested. And then these are secreted by the thyroid follicular cells. Ulla irukra follicular cells la this is produced. And parafollicular cells la C cells we call it. They produce calcitonin. Okay, thyrocalcitonin, whatever you are calling it. So thyroid gland is the only gland that stores its hormones in a very large quantity compared to other glands. Quantity vandu adhigam. Okay. So inga vandu it storage vandu capacity is more here. Now, the basic substance you need for all this is iodine. You already know this. So it is essential for the synthesis of thyroxine hormone. Now, thyroglobulin is a glycoprotein. Okay, it is a glycoprotein and it synthesizes T3, T4. So T3, T4, you know already, it is 3 atoms and 4 atoms respectively. And T3 vandu kammi amounts like is produced when compared to T4. T4 is a little higher amount. Now, thyroxine hormones vandu, it is very important for the tissue retention. Okay. So that means it will stimulate the metabolic activities which are involved in the increase of oxygen consumption in the tissue. So it will take care of all your tissues. Okay, especially brain, lungs, testes, and retina. Calcitonin is secreted when calcium level is very high. What will happen when the calcium level is very high and the calcitonin is secreted? What does it do? என்ன பண்ணும் increase ஆகும்போது calcitonin? It will decrease the calcium levels. It has to come back to the normal levels so that
Regulates blood
do not
calcium.
have right. If more calcium is there, your bones get brittle. So obviously your calcium levels have to come down. Adukku help பண்றது வந்து calcitonin. Then இப்ப regulation பார்த்தோம்னா ரெண்டு விதமா we already saw this. We have two different types of hypothyroidism, that is hypo and hyper. We have to look at two different things now. Okay, T3 T4 will help increasing metabolic rate, protein synthesis, carbohydrate metabolism, lipid utilization, and maintenance of water and electrolytic balance. So many things the thyroid does. And remember, when you, I don't know whether you have noticed thyroid patients, the skin will be dry for them. That is because the water retention is not happening in the tissues. So you find dry, scaly skin for people who are having thyroid sometimes. Excessive weight loss, increased weight, எல்லாமே வந்து part of the thyroid system. Okay, so briefly on the broader one, we will classify them into hypothyroidism and hypothyroidism. Okay, இப்போ first நம்ம பார்க்கிறது வந்து hypothyroidism. Okay, hypothyroidism la what are the disorders we look at? Means what are the deficiencies? Yeah, we are talking about hypo first.
Cretinism.
Cretinism, we will just have a look, that's it. Correct, simple goiter. Deficiency of thyroid will cause cretinism. What are the symptoms of cretinism?
Wrinkled
Blotted
skin,
face.
blotted face, thick and short limbs, enlarged tongue.
Retard skeletal growth.
Okay, they all look like, you know what is retardation. You will know how a retarded child looks, all that features. Okay, growth வந்து ஒண்ணுமே இருக்காது, low heart rate,
Mental ability is also
right,
retarded.
temperature சரியா இருக்காது, பெரிய belly இருக்கும் frontல. You have a pot belly.
Slow
and
pulse
then
rate.
chest வந்து சின்னதா இருக்கும், tongue வந்து protruding ஆ இருக்கும். All these are all retardation. Okay, cretinism. What is the next one, which is called as myxedema?
Hyposecretion of thyroid in adults.
Okay, myxedema வந்து எப்படி இருக்கும்? Face, puffy face, very slow people, learning levels are slow, and heartbeat slow, temperature, reproduction வந்து failure conditionல இருக்கும்.
Memory loss.
Memory loss, so they do not have. And eye protrusions, where do you see? Puffy faces, yes. Next, simple goiter, also called as the endemic goiter.
Hyposecretion of thyroxine.
ஆமா, இதெல்லாமே hyposecretion தான். That's why I took it up. Simple goiter, also
Enlargement of
called as
thyroid
the
gland.
endemic goiter. இது வந்து it is caused by iodine deficiency. Okay, and then you have the enlargement of thyroid gland accompanied with cretinism or myxedema. Okay,
Increased thyroid stimulating hormone.
Ama. Then what about Hashimoto's disease? Hashimoto disease. Idu vandu, it is an autoimmune disease where thyroid gland is destroyed by auto. What do you mean by an autoimmune disease, by the way? What is autoimmune disease?
Immune system become improper and attack our own immune system.
We ourselves attack our own bodies. It is autoimmunity. Idu vandu one of the diseases of thyroid, which is autoimmune, is Hashimoto. There is no cure for this. It is an autoimmune disease which can develop any stage of your life. It is Hashimoto disease. So there you will have, okay, these are all your hypothyroidism. What about hypothyroidism? We'll just end up with this. It's already time for you. Hypothyroidism.
The secretion of thyroid hormone is increased to abnormal higher level.
So idla diseases pair. One is the Graves disease, also called as the base
thyroid
Exophthalmic
toxicity.
goiter.
exophthalmic goiter. It is also called as the base Dow's disease. It is called Graves disease or base Dow's disease, or also called as the Paris disease. Nariya pair idukku. All are same. Okay, exophthalmic goiter is caused by oversecretion. Symptoms வந்து protrusion of eyeballs, rise in temperature, rapid heartbeat,
Enlargement of thyroid gland.
enlargement of thyroid gland,
weakness
body
of
வந்து
eyeball.
ஆமா protrusion and body எல்லாம் வந்து shiver ஆயிட்டு இருக்கும், tremors,
Weight
restless.
loss.
So நம்மளுக்கு வந்து
Weight
weight
loss.
loss. நம்மளுக்கு எது opposite of hypothyroidism? So there is weight loss, there is weight gain in hypothyroidism. Hypothyroidismல weight gain இருக்கும் நிறைய, இதுல வந்து weight loss இருக்கும். Okay, so this is all about your thyroid system, and நான் just in the parathyroid மட்டும் முடிச்சிட்டு I will end it up with a small thing what you have learned. Anyway, we'll do it in the next class. இதுல hyper கூட இருக்கு. We'll do it in the next class. We'll finish it today here. Okay, so just the 3 hormones, few hormones we have, and next lesson what will we take, because I am going to complete it in half an hour's time, this one. இதுக்கு அப்புறமா என்ன எடுக்கலாம் நீங்க சொல்லுங்க, we will continue with that.
யுவதி இங்க பாரு, நான் இப்பதான்
So isobar, same mass number but different atomic number. Example, you can give 14 carbon 6 and 14 nitrogen 7. So this is an example for isobars. Then isotopes.
Same atomic number but different mass number.
Identical atomic number. Different mass number but different mass number. So 35 chlorine 17, same 37 chlorine 17. Next one, isotones. Next one is isotones.
in English.
See, everybody mute all. I am third time I am putting you all in mute. Okay. See, you are disturbing others also. Please put in mute. The next one is isotones. Isotones means same number of neutrons. Same number of neutrons. Different elements but same number of neutrons. 14 carbon 6. 15 nitrogen 7, 16 oxygen 8. The next one is isoelectronic. This we know very well. Same number of electrons. Any species, ions or atoms containing the same number of electrons. O2 minus, F minus, Na plus. O2 minus means 16 minus 2, 14. Fluorine, what about fluorine? But this is O2 minus, then what about this? This will be 10. This will be 10, right? 8 plus 2. I thought O2. Okay, it is O2 minus. And F minus 9 plus 1, 10 electrons. Sodium 11 minus 1, 10 electrons. Then electromagnetic spectrum, increasing wavelength, decreasing frequency. Increasing wavelength, decreasing frequency. Then Planck's quantum theory. Planck's quantum theory said E is equal to h mu. Planck's quantum theory said E is equal to h mu. That means energy is associated with the frequency. That is what his idea. Energy is associated with frequency. That was his idea. Next is photoelectric effect. Photoelectric effect, ejection of electrons from certain metals. Yeah, or metals la H mu rays வந்து pass ஆச்சுனா there will be ejection, removal of electrons. அதுதான் photoelectric effect. So kinetic energy of ejected electron, அதோட ஸ்பீட் எவ்வளவு ஸ்பீட்ல அது வெளியே வரும். Kinetic energy of ejected electron, H mu is equal to H mu naught plus half mass of the electron into V square. Mass of the electron into V square. Here H mu naught is the work function. H mu naught is the work function. Then absorption spectrum of hydrogen. Then absorption spectrum of hydrogen. What is absorption spectrum? What is absorption spectrum? The absorption spectrum is nothing but when a white light is passed through any substance. When a white light is passed through any substance, when a white light is passed through any substance, a spectrum is produced. That spectrum is called absorption spectrum. If that spectrum is in dark region, we say it is continuous spectrum. If it is a dark lines, yes, Selva Kumar, what is your doubt? Selva Kumar, no doubt. Okay. So if it is in dark lines, it is called the continuous spectrum. So first, it is observed for hydrogen. Hydrogen is the முதல்ல கண்டுபிடிச்சாங்க. So they found a series. They found a series, Lyman series, Balmer series, Lyman series, Balmer series, then
series.
Then bracket, then fund. அதாவது நிறைய அப்சார்ப்ஷன் டிஃபரெண்ட் ரேஸ்ல ஹைட்ஸ்ல இருந்தது. ஸோ ஒவ்வொன்றுத்துக்கு ஒரு கேட்டகரிக்கு ஒரு பேர் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. ஸோ இஃப் n1, if the series is n1 ஃபர்ஸ்ட் லேயரா இருந்ததுன்னா, ஃபர்ஸ்ட் லெவலா இருந்ததுன்னா, if it is 1, n2 will be 2, 3. If Balmer series will start from 2, and this will be 3, 4, etc. And this will be 3, this will be 4, this will be 5. So here 4, 5, then 5, 6, then 6, 7. Where are the regions it is being observed? Lyman series is observed only in the UV region. It is visible only in the spectral region for Lyman is UV. Spectral series for Lyman is UV, and Balmer is visible. And next is IR. Fashion is IR. The bracket also IR. And fund also IR. Here we say mid IR, far IR. Kamalesh, what is your doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay, don't simply raise your hands. Okay, so this will show far IR, near IR, and mid IR. Okay. The next one is Rydberg formula. RYDBERG. 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 Rydberg formula. This is one important formula. 1 by lambda. 1 by lambda is equal to or mu bar. 1 by lambda is nothing but mu bar. That is equal to R into 1 by n1 square. 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square into z square. The next one is Bohr model. Bohr's model of the atom. Bohr's model of the
Ma'am,
So
math
he
words
said-
clear தெரியல.
Amma?
Board is not visible, ma'am.
Board is not visible. Right. Board is not clear or not visible?
Clear.
Rida? The pen again. Okay. Yes. So this is the
Ma'am, can you repeat the formula, ma'am? The
yeah,
formula.
sure. Sure. Rydberg formula is 1 by lambda is equal to mu bar. Okay, I will get new marker, okay, today. So kindly bear today. So I will get you new marker tomorrow. 1 by lambda is equal to mu bar is equal to r into 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square into z square. Then Bohr's model of the atom. Bohr's model of the atom. So he said MBR is equal to, red is okay. MBR is equal, red okay va?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll write in red. MBR is equal to NH by 2 pi. MBR is equal to NH by 2 pi. And he said R is R to the subscript N. That is radius of. See, வெளிய போயிட்டு போயிட்டு திரும்ப திரும்ப வந்தீங்கன்னா I never admit again. புரியுதா? Most of you are continuously going. அதுவும் பார்த்தா same person தான் வெளிய போயிட்டு போயிட்டு திரும்ப திரும்ப வரீங்க. உங்களுக்கு admit கொடுத்துட்டே இருக்கணுமா? I won't put enable the waiting room. நீங்க ஏன் முதல்ல வெளிய போறீங்க? So next is radius of stationary state of hydrogen like species. Rn is equal to n square divided by z. The problem often kepama into 59.9 picometer. Again somebody is entering. Radius of stationary state of hydrogen like species. R subscript n is equal to n square by z into 52.n. Next to velocity. Velocity subscript n is equal to z by n inverse into 2.188 into 10 to the power of 8. Actually இந்த சாப்டர்ல இருந்து ஒரே ஒரு क्वेश्चन தான் வரும். சரியா? ஆனா இதோட ஃபார்முலாஸ் இருந்ததுன்னா அந்த சாப்டர் நீங்க ஈஸியா போட்டுறலாம். Vn is equal to z by n into 2.188 into 10 to the power of 8 centimeter per second. Centimeter per second. If it is ionization energy, next is ionization energy. Ionization energy is equal to z square by n square, z square by n square into 2.18 into 10 to the power of minus 19 into 10 to the power of minus 19 into 10 to the power of minus 19 or z square by n square into 13.6 electron volt per atom. Electron volt per atom. Electron volt per atom. Next is de Broglie equation. De Broglie equation. Lambda is equal to h by m mu. Lambda is Ionization energy, again I will repeat. Somebody is having doubt. Z square by N square into 2.18 into 10 to the power of minus 18 joule per atom. That is joule per atom. If you want in electron volt, Z square by N square into 13.6 electron volt per atom. Next is de Broglie equation. Lambda is equal to H by P. Lambda is equal to H by P. Then Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Delta x into delta P. Delta x into delta P greater than or equal to H by 4 pi. Greater than or equal to H by 4 pi. Next is Schrodinger wave equation. Schrodinger wave equation. You know, dou square psi divided by dou x square is dou square psi divided by d dou y square plus dou square psi by dou z square plus 8 pi square m 8 pi square m by h square e minus p. அதாவது இது வந்து potential energy plus kinetic energy. அதான் இது. Psi is equal to 0. Psi is equal to 0. Next is quantum numbers. Quantum numbers. Orbital quantum. Take down orbital angular momentum. Orbital angular momentum of electron. Orbital angular momentum of electron. Root of L into L plus 1. Root of L into L plus 1 h by 2 pi. Root of L into L plus 1 h by 2 pi. Then spin angular momentum is equal to root of S into S plus 1 h by 2 pi. The next one. For nth shell, number of subshells equal to number of subshells. For nth shell, number of subshells equal to small n. Number of subshells equal to small n. Number of orbitals equal to n square. Number of subshells கேட்டாங்கன்னா என்ன ஷெல்லோ அதேதான் ஆன்சர். சரியா? ஷெல்லுக்கும் சப்ஷெல்லுக்கும் அதேதான். Number of orbitals கேட்டா n square. Maximum number of electrons கேட்டா 2n square. Maximum number of electrons கேட்டா 2n square. Next, for a given subshell, number of orbitals equal to is equal to 2l plus 1. Maximum number of electrons equal to maximum number of electrons is equal to 2 into 2L plus 1. 2 into 2L plus 1. Number of radial or spherical nodes. Number of radial or spherical node, NODE, nodes, equal to N minus L minus 1. N minus L minus 1. Number of angular or planar nodes. Number of angular or planar nodes. இல்ல nodal planes எல்லாமே ஒண்ணுதான் சரியா இல்லனா nodal planes எல்லாமே ஒரே நேம் தான் equal to L. Total number of nodes NODES total number of nodes is equal to N minus 1. Okay, then we will see the problems பார்க்கலாம் first previous year question paper பார்த்துட்டு அதுக்கு அப்புறம் problems extra problems பார்க்கலாம் Which one is the wrong statement? சரியா எழுதிக்கோங்க. De Broglie wavelength is given by lambda is equal to H by mv. De Broglie wavelength is equal to lambda is equal to H by mv. Second option B. The uncertainty principle is delta E into delta E, capital E, internal energy or energy, into delta T, small t, greater than or equal to H by 4 pi. Greater than or equal to H by 4 pi. Option C. Half-filled and fully filled orbitals have half-filled and fully filled orbitals have greater stability due to greater exchange energy. Greater stability due to greater exchange energy. Option D. I have not completed. Knowledge. The energy of 2s orbital is less than the energy of 2s orbital is less than the energy of 2p orbital. The energy of 2p orbital in case of hydrogen like atoms. So now tell me what is the answer. Mahalakshmi has said option B. Any other answer you want to give? Enama answer? De Broglie wavelength lambda is equal to h by mv. Correct? That is correct. Second one for
Yes, ma'am.
continuity principle, delta E into delta T greater than or equal to h by 4 pi கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. தப்பா? தப்பாமா?
Yes, ma'am.
Why it is wrong?
Delta x into delta p is greater than or equal
Delta
to
P என்னது? What is P? What is P?
Momentum.
Momentum.
Momentum. So you replace the momentum. Momentum can be replaced by m delta v. So you say delta x into delta p is greater than or equal to h by 4 pi சொல்றீங்க இல்லையா? இப்போ இதுல என்ன பண்ண போறேன்? நான் delta p மாத்த போறேன். m into delta p. That is what momentum, right? Mass into velocity. So here change in velocity, அதனால அத போட்டாச்சு. That is greater than or h by 4 pi. What is next step? What is delta v? Velocity is equal to acceleration into time. Am I right? Velocity is equal to acceleration into time. So delta a into delta t, which is equal to h by 4 pi. Not sorry, greater than or equal to h by 4 pi. What about delta v by delta t? Okay, இது எப்படி கூட வச்சுக்கலாம். What is mass into acceleration?
Force.
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 Delta x into, let me write it as force into delta t, which is greater than or equal to h by 4 pi. Okay. What about x in force into what is x? Position, right? Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Force into position is nothing but energy. So delta E into delta T is greater than or equal to h by 4 pi. This is correct.
Option D.
Option D. So tell me about option C. Of course, half filled and completely filled are highly
More
stable.
stable.
Because of the reason symmetry சொல்லலாம், greater symmetry, அவன் greater exchange energy கொடுத்திருக்கான், அதுவும் correct. Balanced arrangement, இதெல்லாம் reason. Okay, very good. What about option D? என்ன சொல்லுங்க? 2s orbital.
Hydrogen 2p carried.
Orbital is less than the energy of 2p orbital in case of hydrogen-like atoms. For single electron species, Bohr என்ன சொல்லிருக்காரு? For single electron species, energies depends on the value of n, not L. S of p என்றத பத்தி எனர்ஜி பேச வேண்டாம். எதுக்கு? Single electron speciesக்கு we can talk only about the n. n, சரியா? இவங்க என்ன பத்தி சொல்லிருக்காங்க? 2s 2p சொல்லிருக்காங்க. s p ல வந்து என்ன வேல்யூ? L வேல்யூ. So that is a wrong statement. Okay? இதை நோட் பண்ணி எழுதிக்கோங்க. அந்த ஆன்சர்லயே கீழ நோட் பண்ணி எழுதிக்கோங்க. For a single electronic species, இது வேற மாதிரி எப்படி வேணா கேட்கலாம். Like hydrogen, energy depends on value of n. Energy depends on value of n and does not depend on L. அப்ப இதுல 2s ஆர்பிட்டல்ல அந்த ஒரு எலக்ட்ரான் இருந்தாலும் சரி 2p ஆர்பிட்டல்ல அந்த ஒரு எலக்ட்ரான் இருந்தாலும் சரி எப்படி இருக்கும் அதோட எனர்ஜி சேமா தான் இருக்கும். They will be same in energy. சரியா? அது 2s 3s ன்னு மாறும்போது தான் difference in energy will takes place. யாருக்கு? For a single electron species. The statement D is incorrect. Next, 2 electrons. Next statement. Next question. இது NEET 2017 ல கேட்டான். Previous question வந்து 2017 ல கேட்ட question இது. கண்டிப்பா எல்லாரும் ஆப்ஷன் எதை டிக் பண்ணிருப்பாங்க? B. இல்லையா? யாருமே இந்த டெரிவேஷனை யோசிச்சு பார்த்துக்கவே மாட்டோம். But there is other derivation for Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Delta E into delta T greater than or equal to H by 4 pi. சரியா? Option C is
மேம் போர்டு கிளியரா தெரியல மேம்.
போர்டு கிளியரா தெரியல, பென் எழுத மாட்டேங்குது. இத நான் சொல்றேன், எழுதிக்கிறீங்களா?
ஓகே மேம்.
Delta X delta X into delta P is greater than or equal to H by 4 pi. Delta P momentum mass into delta V மாத்தணும். Mass into delta V மாத்தணும். அதுக்கப்புறம் delta V velocity என்ன எழுதணும்? delta A into delta T எழுதணும். Acceleration into time. அதுக்கப்புறம் மாஸும் ஆக்ஸலரேஷனும் சேர்ந்து ஃபோர்ஸ் கொடுக்குது F. அதுக்கப்புறம் பொசிஷனும் ஃபோர்ஸும் சேர்ந்து டெல்டா E கொடுக்குறாங்க.
ஓகே மேம்.
Okay, next. The electrons occupying the same orbital. Electrons occupying the same orbital are distinguished by தண்ணி அப்படியே வாஷிங் வெளியே சுவிட்ச் ஆஃப் are distinguished by option A magnetic quantum number, option B Schmidt quantum number, அதாவது M L S N எல்லா M N S நாலு இருக்கு இல்லையா, நாலு குவாண்டம் நம்பர்ஸ். அதுல எது வந்து ரெண்டு எலக்ட்ரான் சேம் ஆர்பிட்டல்லே இருந்துச்சுன்னா which will distinguish? their spin will distinguish இல்லையா, ஒன்னு parallel இன்னொன்னு anti parallel, அதுதான் distinguish பண்ணோம். Answer is spin quantum number. Answer is yes, spin quantum number. Next, இதுவும் நீட்ல கேட்ட क्वेश्चन தான், நீட் 2016 ல கேட்டிருக்காங்க. Next, how many electrons can fit in the orbital for which n is equal to 3 and L is equal to 1. இது நீட்ல ஈஸி ஃபார்முலா, டைரக்ட் ஃபார்முலா. என்ன ஃபார்முலா இதுக்கு? n equal to 3 L equal to 1 னா என்னமா? 3 n orbital 3p orbital, L equal to 0 na S, L equal to 1 na P, L equal to 2 na D, L equal to 3 na F. அதுக்கப்புறமும் நிறைய இருக்கு, உங்களுக்கு F வரைக்கும் தான் சரியா. S na 0, P na 1, D na 2. சோ இங்க L equal to 1 ன்னு கொடுத்திருக்கான். அப்பனா என்ன அர்த்தம்? p orbital னு அர்த்தம். 3p orbitals ல எவ்வளவு எலக்ட்ரான் can fit maximum? எவ்வளவு எலக்ட்ரான்ஸ் இருக்க முடியும்? 3 maximum
Ma'am, I'm Rubini ma'am.
yeah.
Ma'am, 1 second. கீர்த்தி வாசன் சொல்லிட்டு நியூ ஸ்டூடெண்ட் வந்திருக்காங்க உள்ள, அவங்க யாருன்னு தெரியல. சோ அவங்க மட்டும் என் நம்பருக்கு கால் பண்ண சொல்றீங்களா?
குரூப்ல போட்டிருக்கீங்களே.
கீர்த்தி வாசன்.
கீர்த்தி வாசன்.
ஆமா.
கீர்த்தி வாசன் யாராவது இருக்கீங்களா?
மேம்.
Yeah, you have to call her, Rubini.
நம்பர் நோட் பண்ணிக்கங்க.
நம்பர்
உடனே கால் பண்ணுங்க.
ரூபினி நீங்க நம்பரை சாட்ல போட்டு விடுங்க அவகிட்ட. அவ பாத்து.
நான் நம்பர் அனுப்பிச்சிட்டேன் ஏற்கனவே.
ஓகே.
நம்பர் எனக்கு கால் பண்ணவே இல்லை. நான் அனுப்பிச்சு ஒரு 10 நிமிஷம் ஆகுது. பசங்க எல்லாருமே வந்து நம்ம ஸ்டூடெண்ட் ஜாயின் பண்ணிருக்காங்க. அன்னெசரியா யாருமே உங்க ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸுக்கு வந்து ஷேர் பண்ணாதீங்க. ஓகேங்களா? உங்க ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸுங்க யாரா படிக்கணும், நீட் வந்து படிக்கணும்னு அப்படி ஆசைப்பட்டாங்கன்னா என் நம்பர் கால் பண்ணுங்க. அவங்க கால் பண்ணி என்கிட்ட பேச சொல்லுங்க. நீங்களும் வந்து யாருமே லிங்க் கொடுக்க கூடாது.
ஹலோ.
சொல்லுமா.
மேம் நான் சாந்தினி பேசுறேன் மேம். உங்க ஸ்டூடெண்ட் தான். அண்ணனோட மொபைல்ல இருந்து வந்தேன் மேம்.
ஓகே, நீங்க வந்து ஓகே உங்க நேம் நீங்க யூஸ் பண்ணுங்க. ஓகேங்களா?
ஓகே மேம்.
நேம் இல்லைன்னா நீங்க யார் வந்திருக்கீங்க எனக்கு தெரியாது. நாங்க டெய்லி கிளாஸ் பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கோம். அன்னெசரியா யாருமே உள்ள அலோவ் பண்ண மாட்டோம். சரிங்களா?
ஓகே மேம்.
ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கிளாஸ் ரூம்ல வரும்போது எல்லாருமே அவங்க நேம்ல இருக்கு கிளாஸ், அவங்க இதுவெல்லாம் நீங்களும் உங்க நேம்ல தான் நீங்க உள்ள வரணும். ஓகேங்களா?
ஓகே மேம்.
ஓகே, சாரி ஃபார்.
நீங்க என்ன பண்ணணும்னா எல்லாரும் கட்டாயம் வீடியோல தான் இருக்கணும்னு சொல்லுங்க. அப்ப இந்த
ஆமா, அதே மாதிரி கிளாஸ் அட்டெண்ட் பண்றீங்கன்னா மார்னிங் 9:30 அட்டெண்ட் பண்ணீங்கன்னா ஈவினிங் ஆஃப்டர்நூன் 2 o'clock வரைக்கும் கிளாஸ் ரூம்ல இருக்கிற மாதிரி பாருங்க. அப்பப்ப வெளியே போயிட்டு வந்துட்டு இருக்கீங்க, அது உங்க நெட்வொர்க் ப்ராப்ளம். ஓகே, நான் அக்செப்ட் பண்ணிக்கிறேன் அதை. ஓகேங்களா? ஆனா மேடமுக்கும் அவங்க கிளாஸ் நடத்தும் போது உங்களுக்கு அவங்களுக்கும் இதுவா இருக்க கூடாது. ஓகேவா? பாத்துக்கோங்க. எல்லாருமே வந்து அவங்க ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸுங்களுக்கு யாருமே லிங்க் வந்து ஷேர் பண்ணாதீங்க. ப்ளீஸ் ப்ளீஸ் ப்ளீஸ், இது ஒரு ரெக்வஸ்டா உங்களுக்கு கேட்டுக்கிறேன். ஓகேங்களா? யாரா இருந்தாலுமே சரி என் நம்பரை கொடுங்க, எனக்கு கால் பண்ண சொல்லுங்க, நாங்க அலோவ் பண்றோம். ஓகேவா? தேங்க்யூ மேம். சாரி மேம், டிஸ்டர்ப் பண்ணிட்டேன். தேங்க்யூ. பாய் மேம். கேரன்.
They have asked how many electrons can fit in the orbitals which n equal to 3 and l equal to 1. That means 3p orbital. இல்லையா? அவங்க ஆனா ஒரு ட்விஸ்டே அதுதான். ஒரு ஆர்பிட்டல் p ஆர்பிட்டல்ல எத்தனை ஆக்குபை பண்ண முடியும்னு அவங்க கேட்கல. 3p ஆர்பிட்டல்ல எத்தனை ஆக்குபை பண்ண முடியும்ன்றது அவங்களோட क्वेश्चन. Any orbital we can able to fill only 2 electrons. So 2 the answer actually. We should not say 6. 6 உங்க ஆப்ஷன்லயே இல்ல. சரியா? So questionல என்ன கேட்டிருக்குன்னா can fit in the orbital for which. ஒரு ஆர்பிட்டல்ல ஃபிட் பண்ணனும். ஜஸ்ட் உங்களை கன்ஃபியூஸ் பண்றதுக்காக தான் அந்த n equal to 3 l equal to 1 அந்த விஷயமே. சரியா? whatever it is 3p ஆனாலும் சரி ஒரு ஆர்பிட்டல்ல எத்தனை 2 தான் ஃபில் பண்ண முடியும். How many total electrons can be filled in ன்னு கேட்டிருந்தாங்கன்னா நம்ம 6 போடுறதுல ரைட் இல்லையா? இல்ல in all the orbitals ன்னு கேட்டிருந்தாலும் 6 போடலாம். ஆனா அவங்க கேட்டிருக்கிறது only one orbital. How many electrons can fit in a orbitalன்றது தான் அவனோட கேள்வி. So you should write 2 not 6. Next question. Which is the correct order of increasing energy? Which is the correct order of increasing energy of the listed orbitals in the atom of titanium. Which is the correct order of increasing energy of the listed orbitals in the atom of titanium. So என்னென்ன ஆர்பிட்டல்னா 3s 4s 3p 3d. 3s 4s 3p 3d. 3s 4s 3p 3d. So இத நீங்க வந்து இன்கிரீசிங் ஆர்டர்ல அரேஞ்ச் பண்ணனும் based on their energy. According to Hoffa principle, first என்னது? Which is the highest energy? எதுமா highest energy? Which is having greater number of n, that will be the highest energy. இதுல யாருக்கு n ஜாஸ்தி? 4s. So first n தான் பார்க்கணும். So 4s is the highest energy. Then இது எல்லாமே 3. அதுல எது பார்க்கணும்? L, which is having the highest L value, that will have the higher energy. அப்பனா யார் next? 3D
3D
3P
3S
அவ வந்து increasing order ல arrange பண்ண சொன்னதுனால 3S 3P 3D
4D.
Point is which is having higher n value, which is having next is higher L value. அந்த ஆர்டர்ல தான் அரேஞ்ச் பண்ணணும். இது யாரோட பிரின்சிபல்? யாரோட ரூல்?
Half bow
rule. Very good. Next one. The number of d electrons in Fe2 plus is not equal to the number of electrons which one of the following? The number of d electrons in Fe2 plus is not equal to the number of electrons in which of the following? Option பாருங்க டிஃபரண்டா இருக்கு. S electrons in magnesium. Option B வந்து P electrons in chlorine. Option C வந்து D electrons in Fe. Option D வந்து P electrons in neon, Ne. First S electrons in magnesium, P electrons in chlorine, D electrons in Fe, P electrons in N. உங்களுக்கு கேக்குறது number of D electrons தான். முதல்ல Fe க்கு என்ன number of D electrons?
6.
Very good. Scandium, titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, iron. Yeah, so 6.
Ferrous.
Ferrous iron ma. Ferrous na vera, ferric na vera. This iron. Fe is iron. So 3D 6. யார்ல 6 வரா பாருங்க. முதல்ல magnesium எத்தனை எலக்ட்ரான்? magnesium atomic number என்ன?
12.
12 க்குனா எந்த குரூப் வருது? magnesium. alkaline earth group elements இல்லையா? அப்ப வந்து என்ன வரும்?
6.
Number of electrons is 6. Prida 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2. Next, it matches with the 60 electrons of Fe2 plus. So, அதுல உள்ள 6 இதுல உள்ள 6 match ஆயிடுச்சு. ஆனா
Chlorine.
Chlorine
5.
5 என்னது? Totally
17.
Chlorine totally 17 ma. You have to calculate 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5 இல்லையா? இங்க நீங்க calculate பண்ண வேண்டியது only p orbitals. So அப்ப 6 உம் 5 உம் போட்டீங்கன்னா 11p electrons வரும். 11p electrons. ஐயோ உங்களை அட்மிட் பண்றதே வேலையா இருக்கு. சரி. So it does not match with the 6d electrons. So அடுத்தது neon எடுத்தீங்கன்னா 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 p orbitல்ல 6 electron இருக்கு. சரியா? அப்ப அது வந்து 6. So it is matching with the 6d electrons of Fe2 plus. இதுவும் 6 அதுவும் 6. So என்ன? Hence chlorine has 11p electrons which does not matches in number with the 6d electrons of Fe2 plus. So answer வந்து chlorine தான். which does not match தான் கேக்குறான். புரியுதா? மெக்னீசியம்க்கு வந்து 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2 alkaline earth metals-னால. So நம்ம வந்து p orbitals மட்டும் தான் பார்க்கணும். ஏன் p orbitals மட்டும் பார்க்கணும் சொல்லுங்க? அவனே கொடுத்திருக்காமா ஆப்ஷன்ல பாருங்க. S electrons in magnesium. புரியுதா? Yes or no? Say something.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Not equal to the number of electrons. S க்கு முன்னாடி என்ன இருக்கு? P தான் இருக்கு. So 6. 6 electron. Next வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா chlorine P electrons ன்னு சொல்லிருக்காங்க. So you have to neglect the last both s orbitals and then the p electrons. So அப்படி பார்த்தா 6 plus 5 11 p electrons வருது. அதுக்கப்புறம் அயனுக்கு d electrons மட்டும் கம்பேர் பண்ண சொல்றாங்க. That is already 6. அது நம்ம பார்த்தாச்சு. அடுத்தது நியானுக்கு வெறும் p electrons மட்டும் பார்க்க சொல்லிட்டாங்க. That is 2p6, so 6 electrons. So hence chlorine has 11 p electrons which does not match with the 6d electrons of Fe2+. Next இது கண்டுபிடிங்க. The angular momentum, இது எல்லாமே நீட் क्वेश्चंस தான். இந்த லெசன்ல வந்து ஒரே ஒரு क्वेश्चन தான் வரும், ஆனா அது வந்து ரொம்ப ஈஸியா தான் இருக்கும். சரியா? The angular momentum of electrons in d orbital is equal to the angular momentum of electron in d orbital is equal to formula என்ன பார்த்தோம்? 2 இல்லையே. Angular momentum of electron in d orbital is முதல்ல formula என்ன சொல்லுங்க? Angular momentum of electron root of
L into L plus 1 into h by 2 pi.
இங்க L என்னது? எவ்வளோ?
2.
L, very good, 2. So 2 into 2 plus 1. அப்பனா root 6 தான். Root
6.
6. So இன்னொன்னு இருக்கு, angular momentum is equal to h by 2 pi. Actually angular momentum நம்ம எப்படி denote பண்ணுவோம்னா இந்த h போட்டு மேல ஒரு cross போடுவோம். h போட்டு மேல ஒரு cross. இது angular momentum. h போட்டுட்டு அது மேல ஒரு cross போடுவோம். அது பேர் தான் angular momentum. This is actually equal to h by 2 pi. This is actually equal to h by 2 pi. So அதனால அந்த 2 by 2 pi cancel ஆயிடும். Cancel ஆயிட்டு we will say root 6h. We will say only root 6h. root 6 மட்டும் தான் ஆப்ஷன்ல இருக்கு. சப்போஸ் அந்த மாதிரி கேட்டாலும் போட தெரியும். Next, what is the maximum number of orbitals? What is the maximum number of orbitals that can be identified? What is the maximum number of orbitals that can be identified with the following quantum numbers? With the following quantum numbers. N equal to 3, L equal to 1, ML equal to 0. ML equal to 0. So option la வந்து 1, 2, 3, 4 கொடுத்துருக்கான். Option A 1, option B 2, option C 3, option D 4. N equal to 3. Yeah, N equal to 3, L equal to 1, and ML, magnetic quantum number, that is equal to 0. That is equal to 0. First N equal to 3 na என்னது? 3 தான். L equal to 1 na யாரு?
p orbital.
p orbital. ML equal to 0 na யாரு? pz. Actually பாத்தீங்கன்னா நம்ம இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு நிமிஷம் என்ன பண்ணுவோம்? p ஆர்பிட்டல்லாம் போடுவோம் இல்லையா? என்ன சொல்லுவோம்? px, py, pz. ml ல என்ன அர்த்தம்? இங்க 0, இங்க +1, இங்க -1 ன்னு அர்த்தம். கரெக்ட்டா? பட் இது வந்து py கிடையாது. இது நம்ம கம்ஃபர்ட்டபிள்காக தான் x, y, z லாம் போடலாம். ஆனா எது வேணா x ஆ இருக்கலாம், எது வேணா y ஆ இருக்கலாம், எது வேணா z ஆ இருக்கலாம். பட் லேட்டர் வாட் they say px னா எப்படி இருக்கும்? இப்படி இருக்கும். py னா எப்படி இருக்கும்? இப்படி இருக்கும். pz னா இப்படி இருக்கும். ஒண்ணு வந்து இப்படி இருக்கும் இல்லையா? நீங்க எதை x, எதை y, எதை z ன்னு வச்சுக்கிறீங்கன்றத பொறுத்து தான் இதை z, இதை y, இதை x ன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க. சரியா? நம்ம ஆக்சுவலி பார்த்தா கிராஃப் இந்த இடத்துல y தான் போடுவோம். ஆனா this is taken as z. So இந்த மாதிரி இடத்துல பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஓவர்லாப்பிங் அதிகமா இருக்கும். There will be always symmetry. So இது எப்பவுமே equal to 0. இதோட orbital energy வந்து that will be always equal to 0. So So ml value 0 na pz ன்னு அர்த்தம். ml value 0 na pz ன்னு அர்த்தம். சரியா? So அப்ப இங்க என்னது? Hence the maximum number of orbitals by the given quantum number is only pz ல எத்தனை இருக்கும்? Only one. புரியுதாமா? The value of n equal to 3 suggests it is 3. L equal to 1 suggests it is p orbital. Value of ml equal to 0 suggests 3pz. Hence the maximum number of orbitals identified by the given quantum number is only 3pz. So only one, that is 3pz. ஒண்ணுதான் ஒரே ஒரு ஆர்பிட்டலை பத்தி தான் எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணிருக்காங்க. 0,1 ன்னு கொடுத்துட்டான்னு வெச்சுக்கோங்க, என்ன பண்ணுவீங்க? 3pz1 3px1. சரியா? 3pz1 அதுக்கப்புறம் 3px1. அப்ப ரெண்டு ஆர்பிட்டல்னு அர்த்தம். ரெண்டு எலக்ட்ரான்ஸ் ஆக்குபை பண்ண முடியும்னு அர்த்தம். சரிதா? ரைட். நெக்ஸ்ட், calculate the energy in joule. Calculate the energy in joule. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Video is planned. I have not passed any video on it. Goda. What is the reason? Any question for that? Calculate the energy in joule. Calculate the energy in joule corresponding to light. The question முடிச்சிட்டு ஒரு 5 minutes break கொடுக்கறேன். அப்ப அழகா போடுவீங்க அப்பதான். Calculate the energy in joule corresponding to light of wavelength 45 nanometer. 45 nanometer. Wavelength மட்டும் கொடுத்திருக்கான். பிராக்கெட்ல Planck's constant value எல்லாம் கொடுத்திருக்கான், c கொடுத்திருக்கான். அதெல்லாம் நான் சொல்ல போறதே இல்ல, அதெல்லாம் நமக்கே தெரிஞ்சிருக்கும். wavelength கண்டுபிடிக்க ஃபார்முலா என்ன? ஆக்சுவலா நமக்கு என்ன தெரியும்? E is equal to h mu தெரியும் இல்லையா? mu is equal to c by lambda தெரியும். அப்ப சப்ஸ்டிட்யூட் பண்ணீங்கன்னா E is equal to hc by lambda. போடுங்க. சோ இது நானோமீட்டர்ல இருக்கு. யூசுவலா எப்படி ரெப்ரசன்ட் பண்ணனும்? மீட்டர்ல. So 45 into 10 to the power of -9. H value என்னமா? 6 into 9
6.62 into 10 power minus 34
into c வந்து 3 into 10 to the power of 8. இந்த ரெண்டு வேல்யூ மட்டும் மல்டிப்ளை பண்ணா question repeat. Please repeat the question. Calculate the energy in joule corresponding to light of wavelength 45 nanometer. அவ்வளவுதான். அதான் question. Calculate the energy in joule corresponding to light of wavelength 45 nanometer. So E is equal to hc by lambda தான் என்னது?
Ma'am, answer is 2 into 10 to the power of -17.
என்ன ஆன்சர்?
2 into 10 to the power of -17.
2 வரலையே, 4 வருது. 6.63 into 3 into 10 to the power of 8. அத மட்டும் கால்குலேட்டர் இருக்கா? இதோட வேல்யூ மட்டும் எப்பவுமே தெரிஞ்சு வெச்சுக்கோங்க.
0.441 into 10 to the power of -7.
Minus
7.
7 or 17? It has to be 17, ma. The minus 9
Oh, sorry. 17.
17. 34 la 17 போச்சுனா 17 தான வரும். So answer is 4.4 into 10 to the power of -18. So இது mere substitution, your multiplication division தான். Formula தெரிஞ்சா போட்டுறலாம். Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes break. After break, everybody should be in video. Okay. Okay, you come back 135. Everybody should be in video. என்ன பண்றீங்கன்னு எனக்கு தெரியல.
Ma'am, I can't able to see anything, ma'am. Ma'am, I can't able to see anything.
Next problem. The value of Planck's constant. The value of Planck's constant is 6.63. Oh, sorry. 6.63 into 10 to the power of minus 34. The value of Planck's constant is 6.63 into 10 to the power of minus 34 joule per second. The speed of light is 3 into 10 to the power of 17. The speed of light is 3 into 10 to the power of 17. Another trick. Yeah. 17 nanometer per second. What is no ma'am? Doubt இருந்தா மட்டும் raise your hand மா. நித்யஸ்ரீ உனக்கு என்ன டவுட்? டவுட் நீங்க ஓபனா கேட்டீங்கன்னா டைம் வேஸ்ட் ஆகாது. நான் சாட்ல போயிட்டு பார்க்கிறதுக்கு எனக்கு கஷ்டமா இருக்கு. சரியா? The value of Planck's constant is 6.63 into 10 to the power of minus 34 joules again. The speed of light is 3 into 10 to the power of 17 nanometer second inverse. Which value is closest to the wavelength in nanometer of a quantum of light with frequency of 6 into 10 to the power of 15. 6 into 10 to the power of 15 second inverse. இது actually ஒரு neat question தான். Option A வந்து 10, option B 25, option C 50, option D 75. Option D 75. Speed of light frequency relate பண்ற ஈக்குவேஷன் என்ன? எப்பவுமே அப்படிதான் கண்டுபிடிக்கணும். இதெல்லாம் ரிலேட் பண்ற ஈக்குவேஷன் நமக்கு என்ன தெரியும்? lambda is equal to or mu is equal to c by lambda. நமக்கு தெரிஞ்சது mu is equal to c by lambda. நம்மள என்ன கேக்குறான்? lambda தான் கேக்குறான். So mere substitution. ஃபார்முலா தெரிஞ்சா mere substitution. So problem பார்த்து பயப்பட கூடாது. உங்களுக்கு என்ன குவாண்டிட்டி கொடுத்திருக்கானோ அதை ரிலேட் பண்ற ஃபார்முலா என்ன தெரியும்னு யோசிக்கணும். So lambda is equal to c by mu. C என்ன கொடுத்திருக்கான்? 3 into 10 to the power of 17 கொடுத்திருக்கான். mu வந்து 6 into 10 to the power of 15 கொடுத்திருக்கான். So h கொடுத்திருக்கிறது உங்களை கன்ஃபியூஸ் பண்ணதான். Okay, so find the answer. 3 into 10 to the power of
15 ma'am. 15 ma'am.
15 nanometer. 50 nanometer. வருதா? எல்லாருக்கும் வருதா? Are you getting the answer? 3 by 6 இருக்கு. So 1 by 2 போடணும். So 0.5. இது மேல போச்சுன்னா 10 to the power of 2 nanometer. So 0.5 into 10 to the power of 2 15 எழுதலாம். 15 nanometer. Very easy. இது போய் நீட்ல கேட்டிருக்காம பாருங்க. ஆனா ஃபார்முலா தெரிஞ்சா ஈஸியா போடலாம். Next. What is the maximum number of electrons that can be associated with the following set of quantum numbers? That can be associated with the following set of quantum numbers. N equal to 3, N equal to 3, L equal to 1, M equal to -1, M equal to -1. क्वेश्चनல maximum number of orbitals கேட்டிருந்தான். சரியா? 3pz இல்ல இது 3p இது வந்து 3px y எது வேணா வச்சுக்கோங்க. போன क्वेश्चनல இந்த क्वेश्चனுக்கும் உள்ள டிஃபரன்ஸ் என்ன? அது வந்து ஆர்பிட்டல். ஆர்பிட்டல் ஒன்னு தான் இருக்கும். 3pz னா ஒரு ஆர்பிட்டல் தான். இதுல என்ன கேக்குறான்? எலக்ட்ரான்ஸ் கேக்குறான். அப்ப எத்தனை எழுதணும்? It is 2 electrons. இல்லையா? ஒரு ஆர்பிட்டல்ல அப்ப 2 எலக்ட்ரான் இருக்கும். புரியுதா? n equal to 3 மா l equal to 1 னா என்ன வரும்? 3p. m equal to -1 னா நீங்க x ன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க, y ன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க, எதுவானா வச்சுக்கோங்க. ஏதோ ஒரு ஆர்பிட்டல் அவ்வளவுதான். 3p y ன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க. ஒரு நம்பர் ஆஃப் ஆர்பிட்டல்ஸ் னு கேட்டிருந்தா 1. ஆனா இங்க என்ன கேக்குறா? நம்பர் ஆஃப் எலக்ட்ரான்ஸ் அசோசியேட்டட் கேக்குறா. ஒரு ஆர்பிட்டல்ல 2 எலக்ட்ரான் இருக்கு. சோ ஆன்சர் இஸ் 2. சோ क्वेश्चन நல்லா ஸ்டடி பண்ணணும். சரியா? இது சொல்லுங்க பாப்பா. மேக்ஸிமம் நம்பர் ஆஃப் எலக்ட்ரான்ஸ் in a subshell. போன क्वेश्चन நீட் क्वेश्चन தான். இந்த மாதிரிலாம் ஈஸியா கேட்டாங்கன்னா அழகா 4 மார்க் வாங்கிட்டு போயிடலாம். Maximum number of electrons in a subshell with L equal to 3 and N equal to 4. Total number of electrons கேக்குறான். N equal to 4, L equal to 3 னா என்ன ஆர்பிட்டல்?
F.
F or
அப்ப 4f. சரியா? அப்ப 4f னா f னா எவ்வளவு? எத்தனை ஆக்குபை பண்ண முடியும்? 7.
7.
So 7 into 7 anti-parallel வரும்ல. So totally 14. So the maximum 14 electrons can be in the 4f orbital. அவ்வளவுதான். சிம்பிள். இதுவும் நீட் क्वेश्चन தான். புரியுதா? இன்னொரு क्वेश्चन. The correct set of இது நீங்க தான் சொல்லணும். The correct set of 4 quantum numbers The correct set of 4 quantum numbers for the valence electron of rubidium atom. Atomic number வேணா சொல்லிடுறேன் 37. சொல்லக்கூடாது, சொல்லாமலே போடணும். சரி, ஓகே. ருபீடியம் எங்க வரும்னு தெரியுமா? ருபீடியம் எங்க வரும்? எஸ்ஆ பியா டியா? முதல்ல அது சொல்லுங்க. டியா?
எஸ் பிளாக் எலிமெண்ட்.
எஸ் பிளாக் எலிமெண்ட்மா. பிடிஎஃப் சிசிஎம் சுத்தா சொல்லிட்டேன். பீரியாடிக் டேபிள் தெரியலனா பல क्वेश्चन உங்களுக்கு நஷ்டமாயிடும். சரி, ருபீடியம் ஆட்டம். ஓகே, சோ ஆப்ஷன் என்ன கொடுத்திருக்காங்க பாருங்க. 5, ஆப்ஷன் ஏ வந்து 5,1,1 plus half. 5,1,1 plus half. Second option 6,0,0 plus half. Option C 5,0,0 plus half. Option D 5,1,0 plus half. Periodic table தெரிஞ்சதுன்னா ருபீடியம் எந்நேரம் அழகா சொல்லிடலாம் 5s1. அது ஆல்கலி மெட்டல் 5s1. சரியா? அப்ப 5 ஃபர்ஸ்ட் n, n-க்கு அப்புறம் என்ன வரும்? l, l s னா 0. சோ 5,0 அதுக்கு அப்புறம் m s ஆர்பிட்டலுக்கு 0 தான். சோ parallel anti parallel ரெண்டும் உட்கார வச்சா 0 தான் வரும். அப்புறம்
Option
either it can be plus half or minus half. So என்ன வரும்?
C.
Option C.
Option C.
இது தெரிஞ்சா மட்டும் தான் பண்ண முடியும். பீரியாடிக் டேபிள் தெரிஞ்சா மட்டும் தான் இத பண்ணவே முடியும். இல்லனா 37க்கு உட்கார்ந்துட்டு எலக்ட்ரானிக் கான்ஃபிகரேஷன் எழுதணும். அது வேற 3sக்கு அப்புறம் என்ன பண்ணும்? ஷஃபிள் ஆகி வரும். லைனாலாம் வராது. அத வேற கரெக்ட்டா எழுதணும். புரியுதா? பீரியாடிக் டேபிள்ல தயவு செய்து டெய்லி ஒரு தடவை எழுதுங்க. டெய்லி ஒரு தடவை எழுதுனீங்கன்னா definitely I am telling you this is going to help you a lot.
Yes ma'am.
ரொம்ப ஹெல்ப் பண்ணும். சரியா? நீங்க படிக்காம போனா கூட அந்த क्वेश्चन அட்டெம்ப்ட் பண்ற அளவுக்கு பீரியாடிக் டேபிள் உங்களுக்கு ஈஸியா இருக்கும். இன்ஆர்கானிக் क्वेश्चंसயும் சரி, இந்த மாதிரி பேசிக் இன்ஆர்கானிக் क्वेश्चंसயும் சரி ஈஸியா அட்டெம்ப்ட் பண்ணலாம். Right, again and again I am telling, let's see. Next, the energies E1 and E2. The energies E1 and E2 of two radiations are 25 electron volt and 50 electron volt. The relation between their wavelengths is lambda 1 and lambda 2. Will be option A, lambda 1 equal to 2 lambda 2. Option B is equal to lambda 1 equal to 4 lambda 2. Option C, lambda 1 is equal to half lambda 2. Option D, lambda 1 is equal to lambda 2.
ஆப்ஷன் சி 50 அப்படியே பார்த்து சொல்லிடலாம்.
ஆப்ஷன் சி யா தப்பே. எப்படி பண்ணீங்க? எனர்ஜியும் லாம்டாவையும் கனெக்ட் பண்ற ஃபார்முலா என்ன? E is equal to hc by lambda. hc by lambda. So E1 is equal to hc by lambda 1 ன்னு வெச்சுக்கோங்க. E2 is equal to hc by lambda 2 ன்னு வெச்சுக்கோங்க. என்ன கேக்குறான்? கம்பேர் பண்ண சொல்றான். So E1 by E2 போடுங்க. புரியுதா? E1 is equal to hc by lambda 1 வெச்சுக்கோங்க. E2 is equal to hc by lambda 2 வெச்சுக்கோங்க. Divide the both.
Lambda 1 is equal to 2 lambda 2. Lambda 1 is equal to 2 lambda 2.
E1 E2 is equal to lambda 2 by lambda 1. E1 என்ன? 25. 25 by 50 என்னது?
Answer
1 by 2.
option 1.
So lambda 1 is equal to 2 lambda 2.
2 lambda 2.
Divisionல தப்பு பண்ணீங்கன்னா தலைகீழ கட்டி தொங்கோடணும். டிவிஷன்ல எல்லாம் தப்பு பண்ண கூடாது. சரியா? கஷ்டப்பட்டு ஃபார்முலாவை அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணி அது ரிலேட்டடா ஃபார்முலாவையும் கண்டுபிடிச்சி சப்ஸ்டிடியூட்டும் பண்ணி அதுக்கப்புறம் போய் டிவிஷன் சப்ட்ராக்ஷன்ல தப்பு பண்ணா எப்படி? டுமாரோ டாக்டர்ஸ் பேஷண்ட்டுக்கு என்னன்னு தெரியும், அவன் ஏன் இருமுறான்னு தெரியும், அவனுக்கு ஏன் ஃபீவர்னு தெரியும், அது என்ன என்ன மருந்து கொடுத்தா சரியாகும் தான் தெரியாது. சரியா? you should be very careful in division. நீங்க என்ன ஏன்னா நீங்க தப்பா வர்றதும் ஆன்சரா கொடுத்துருப்பான், அதான் பிரச்சனையே. நம்ம தப்பா போடுறத அவன் ஆன்சரா கொடுத்துருப்பான், என்ன பண்றது? அப்படிதான் கொடுப்பான். உடனே ரைட் நம்ம போட்டதே கரெக்டா வந்துருச்சு அப்படின்னு சொல்லி டிக் பண்ணிடுவோம். சரியா? அப்படி பண்ணக்கூடாது. எழுதுங்க. If n equal to 6, if n equal to 6, the correct sequence for filling of electrons will be, if n equal to 6, இந்த மாதிரிலாம் ஈஸியா கேட்டானா நல்லதா இருக்கும். இதெல்லாம் நீட் क्वेश्चन தான்மா, previous year நீட் क्वेश्चन தான். If n equal to 6, the correct sequence for filling the electrons will be option A. Ns gives n minus 1d. அது actually gives இல்ல, சிம்பிள்காக சொல்றேன், ஏரோ மார்க். ஆனா என்னது? ns க்கு அப்புறம் n minus 1d ன்னு அர்த்தம். அதுக்கு அர்த்தம் ns gives n minus 1d gives n minus 2f அப்புறம் np. ஆப்ஷன் பி வந்து ns, நீங்க படிச்சிருப்பீங்க, நீங்களே சொல்லலாமே. n equal to 6 னா என்ன சீக்வென்ஸ் ஆஃப் எலக்ட்ரான்ஸ் வரும்? எலக்ட்ரானிக் கான்ஃபிகரேஷன் எழுத தெரியுமா? n equal to 6 னா எப்படி வரும்? முதல்ல 6s, அப்புறம் 4f, அப்புறம் 5d, அப்புறம் 6p. 6s க்கும் 6p க்கும் நடுவுல 4f 5d வரும். 6 க்குலாம் போய்டா. புரியுதா? 4s க்கும் 4p க்கும் நடுவுல ஒண்ணு தான் வரும், 4d மட்டும் தான் வரும். புரியுதா? 4 வரைக்கும் 4s க்கும் 4p க்கும் நடுவுல 3d வரும். 5 க்கு வரும்போது 5s 5p 5d வரும்போது வெறும் 4f மட்டும் 4d மட்டும் வரும். 6 க்கு வந்துட்டா ரெண்டு உள்ள நுழைஞ்சிரும். Again I will tell you what is the concept. Up to 4s, up to 3s no issue. 3s க்கு அப்புறமே 3p வந்துரும். சரியா? 3s க்கு அப்புறமே 3p வந்துரும். 4s வரும்போது 4s க்கும் 4d க்கும் நடுவுல you will be having 3d. 5s க்கும் 5d க்கும் நடுவுல 4d வரும். அதே 6 போய்ட்டா 6x க்கும் 6d க்கும் 6p க்கும் நடுவுல ரெண்டு வரும், f வரும் d வரும். 6 வந்துட்டா f உள்ள வந்துருமா, அதான் அர்த்தம். 5 வரைக்கும் d தான் வரும், 6 வந்தோடனே f உள்ள வரும். So here 6s then comes 4F, then comes 5D, then comes 6P. உங்களுக்கு புக்ல அந்த ஐந்து ஷார்ட்ல சொல்லிருப்பாங்க அப்படியே யாரோ மார்க் போட்டு போட்டு எழுதிருக்கீங்க.
Yes, ma'am.
அது ஈஸியா இருக்கும். Right? So next question. So இதோட ஆன்சர் என்னது? 6S 4F 5D
6P.
Anybody have any doubt? Why you have raised your hands? Doubt கேளுங்க. Next. Which of the following is not permissible? Arrangement of electrons in an atom. Which of the following is not permissible arrangement of electrons in an atom? Option A. N equal to 4, L equal to 0, M equal to 0, S equal to minus half. Option B. N equal to 5, L equal to 3, M equal to 0, S equal to plus half. Option C. N equal to 3, L equal to 2, M equal to minus 3, S equal to minus half. Option D. N equal to 3, L equal to 2. பார்த்தோனே சொல்லிடலாம். M equal to minus 2, S equal to minus half. இதுல எது not permissible வரவே வராது. N equal to 4 na enna 4 னு அர்த்தம். L equal to 0 na enna S. M equal S na M என்னவா இருக்கும் 0 தான் இருக்கும். S can be minus half or plus half. So option A permissible. Option B எடுங்க 5. L equal to 3 na enna
D.
3 na என்னமா F.
Sorry, F.
F. So 5F ல M equal to 0 ஒன்னு இருக்கும். S equal to plus half இருக்கும். அதுவும் கரெக்ட். ஆப்ஷன் C 3D கொடுத்திருக்கான். 3D ல minus 3 இருக்கா? 3D ல L வேல்யூ என்ன வரும்? 0 1 2 தான்.
2.
0 1 2 தான். 0 to L minus 1 அதான் L வேல்யூ இல்லையா? அப்ப 0 L வந்து என்னது 3 3 minus 1 is 2. So 0 1 2 தான் permissible. அவன் வந்து என்ன கொடுத்திருக்கான்? 3 minus 3 னு கொடுத்திருக்கான். அது தப்பு. F க்கு தான் minus 3 ஏ வரும். So D தான் C தான் தப்பு. Okay, next sum. The energy absorbed by each molecule, Sanjay, the energy absorbed by each molecule of a substance is, the energy absorbed by each molecule of a substance is 4.4 into 10 to the power of minus 19 joule. And bond energy per molecule is 4.0 into 10 to the power of minus 19 joule. 4.0 into 10 to the power of minus 19 joule. 10 to the power of minus 19 into 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 10 to the power of minus kinetic energy of the molecule per atom will be. The kinetic energy of the molecule per atom will be. Kinetic energy தெரியுமா? Formula தெரியுமா? Energy absorbed minus bond energy. Energy absorbed by molecule minus bond energy. அதான் formula. அவன் என்ன கேக்குறான்? Kinetic energy தான் கேக்குறான். So substitute பண்ணுங்க. 4.4 into 10 to the power of minus 19 minus 4.0 into 10 to the power of minus 19. ரெண்டுத்தையும் சப்ட்ராக்ட் பண்ண எவ்வளவு கிடைக்கும்? 0.4
into
4 into
10 to the power
38. Very good. மைனஸ்ல என்ன பண்ணணும்? அப்படியே தான் வச்சுக்கணும் அத. 10 to the power of minus 19 தான். சரியா? 4.4 into 10 to the power of minus 19. இதுவே உங்களுக்கு into சிம்பிளா இருந்தா தான் நீங்க அடிஷன் பண்ணணும். மைனஸ் சிம்பிள் நடுவுல வந்து நீங்க அடிஷனோ சப்ட்ராக்ஷனோ பண்றீங்கன்னா அது அப்படியே தான் எடுத்துக்கும். ரிமெம்பர் காமன் டேர்ம்ஸை வெளியே எடுத்துட்டு மீதி டேர்மை தான் சப்ட்ராக்ட் பண்ணணும். 0.4 into 10 to the power of minus 19 joule. அவன் என்ன கேக்குறான்? This is kinetic energy per molecule. அவன் கேக்குறது per atom. So kinetic energy per atom is equal to divided by என்னது? சாரி, அவனுக்கு என்ன மாலிகுல் கொடுத்திருக்கான்னு நான் சொல்லவே இல்லை இல்லையா? A2 மாலிகுல் கொடுத்திருக்கான். அப்ப ஆட்டம் கேட்டாங்க divided by 2 கொடுத்திருக்க மாலிகுல் A2 ஆட்டம்க்கு கேக்குறான். So divided by 2 போட்டீங்கன்னா 2 என்ன வரும்? 0.2 into 10 to the power of minus 19. 0.2 into 10 to the power of minus 19 joule. இல்லனா 2.0 into 10 to the power of minus 20 joule. So subtractionல தப்பு பண்ணிடாதீங்க. நீங்க சொன்ன 10 to the power of minus 38 ஆப்ஷன்ல இருக்கு. புரியுதா? 10 to the power of minus 38 ஆப்ஷன்ல இருக்கு. Yeah. So அந்த மாதிரி தப்புலாம் பண்ணிடக்கூடாது. Right. So I think today we have done many problems. இத்தனை நாளை விட நீங்க கொஞ்சம் ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ் நிறையவே போட்டுக்கோம். பரவாயில்ல. Day by day we will increase. More of contents கடகடன்னு கொடுத்துட்டு ஒரு 15 minutesல content முடிச்சிடணும். முடிச்சிட்டு ப்ராப்ளம் நிறைய போட்டு பார்க்கணும். நம்ம வந்து கெமிஸ்ட்ரியா ஓரளவுக்கு எடுக்க முடியும். உங்களுக்கு டேட் அனௌன்ஸ் பண்ணிட்டாங்களா?
July 26.